Eating at Hooters for Women in Japan is an ethnographic documentary into the subverted presentation of food with a view. In this video, the mode, content and style in which the documentary has been created will be analysed. The documentary follows Carla Sciortino as part of the Slut series created by Vice. In the short documentary, she dines in at Macho 29, a specialty grilled meats bar that is run by a group of muscular men in tank tops. With the examination of the style and the informative content portrayed, we can make an accurate judgment of the mode in which the film was created. That being said, the mode that the film follows is one of the participatory documentary. In 2001, Bill Nichols coined and described participatory documentary as being a type of factual cinema in which the filmmaker is a subject within the film. In his book, Introduction to Documentary, he further states that the participatory documentary gives the viewer a sense of what it is like for the filmmaker to be in any given situation. Evidently, this style documentary carries the viewer throughout this quirky Japanese restaurant, through the eyes of the host. This attribute of the documentary falls under three fundamental aspects that make up the participatory documentary. First, which was just stated, the filmmaker is a character within the picture, and their presence is important and often needed to drive the story. In Eating at Hooters for Women in Japan, the journalist Carly is present in the majority of the shots, pitting her as a character within the documentary. Secondly, the interviewer is seen and heard asking the questions as opposed to any observational documentary where the maker is unobtrusive. However, in this film, Carly asks scripted questions in order for her and the viewers to learn more about the Macho 29. Finally, the viewer in participatory documentary are aligned visually with the host, letting the audience see their reaction and how they, as viewers, might also act in response, acting almost as a physical manifestation of any viewer wanting to experience it for themselves. This form of film is perfect for ethnographic documentary, as those absent from those certain countries, in this instance a meat bar, can learn from these outsiders' perspectives. In regard to the content of Eating at Hooters for Women in Japan, the main drive of the story from the creator's point of view is gender reversal of body objectification. This topic touches on especially important movements of gender equality in today's society, but also inequality. Currently, there are more than 400 Hooters stores spanning 29 countries, but only one little meat bar where men are the ones being looked at. As much as these differences are vast, the purpose of Macho 29 was not to change the image of muscular men, it was to change the image muscular men have in Japan, as it is not commonplace. The added aspect of sexual appeal is not at the forefront of the men's agenda, as one of the members, Kogarashi, explains that some of the customers come in with sexual thoughts, but majority go in for a laugh and find it silly that they are serving food in such little clothes. In addition to the participatory documentary aspect within the video, pins Carly as an outside source, unaware of the cultural differences between her American life and their Japanese lives. Thus, the approach taken by Vice is from a Western perspective, one that sees it from their own point of view, but in turn it becomes a learning point to find out more about the cultures. In addition to the content that explores various avenues of Macho 29, the various stylistic approaches that are used in the documentary to extrapolate the mood of the film. To build on the lane Vice took in regard to body objectification, editing is used frequently to jump between conversation, either men rubbing their abs or flexing their arms. This use of editing is a stylistic approach to create a more visceral visual storytelling element that takes the viewer's eyes on a journey through the subject matter. This use of editing is also used in other videos in the Slut series made by Vice, for example Inside Tokyo's Dildo Bar, which cuts from conversation to an array of adult toys. The narration is an important aspect of the documentary as questions being asked are scripted, but the answers are not. The unscripted answers creates an organic feeling within the video and generates an endearing connection between the men and the audience. When putting all aspects of the documentary together, mood, content, and style, it is clear to see that the relationship between them makes for an intriguing insight into the beefy men of Macho 29. By crafting a humorous, participatory documentary where the host plays an active role in learning Japanese culture and gender subversion, Vice transports their viewers into the interesting world of Japan and its many avenues.